September 13th, 2021. I was refreshing Playboy Carti's Spotify every minute, waiting for Narcissist to drop. But like millions of fans, I was left hanging. The album never came. Again. Just like every other Carti announcement, it was all hype. Nothing materialized. Or at least, not how we thought. The journey of I Am Music represents one of the most frustrating, yet fascinating sagas in modern hip-hop. From its origins as the Narcissist in 2021, through multiple abandoned versions and leaked tracks, to its eventual release in 2025, this album underwent a metamorphosis that raises a critical question. Did fans get the best version of Carti's vision, or were we robbed of something potentially greater? To find out the roots of I Am Music, we need to dive deep into the Narcissist era, which began in August 2021, when Playboy Carti posted a cryptic Instagram caption, reading Narcissist 9/13/21. This date marked his 25th birthday, making fans believe the album was ready. The title may have referenced Iggy Azalea's Instagram live rant.
Because he's a fucking narcissist.
Carti promoted the album through IG posts and tour performances, building anticipation for what appeared to be a dark, aggressive new direction. The aesthetic included motorsport imagery like motorcycle helmets, which some fans found appealing. When September 13th arrived, the album didn't drop. Instead, Carti posted a screenshot of text messages that said, "Forget sample clearances, drop Narcissist," suggesting legal issues were to blame. Later reports revealed Carti wasn't happy with the project himself. He thought his vocals sounded too much like Future's, which made him scrap the whole thing. This decision left fans with only tour announcements and merch, no actual music. The rollout set a pattern of disappointment that would continue for years. Tracks like 2 Out, featuring Lil Uzi Vert, 24 songs, All the Funds, and Hold Up with Future leaked later, giving a glimpse of what could have been. These songs showed Carti experimenting with a deep voice, something that would become more prominent in his later work. Some leaks also confirmed that some material was far enough along to be finished, making the cancellation even more confusing. A few tracks from this era like We Need All the Vibes, Toxic, and Jumping eventually made it onto the final version of I Am Music, but most were left behind. DJ Swamp Izzo, during the interview with DJ Vlad, said Carti in early 2022 had his album finished, which indicates Narcissist was ready to drop back then.
When I started coming around, he already had an album done.
Really? This is 3 years ago?
Yes.
So this is 2022?
Correct.
Okay, but this album never comes out.
Not yet.
Okay, is there a name for this album?
I can't say.
Okay.
Don't seem to have been fully developed, which might have led Carti to walk away from it. Some speculated that the sample clearance issues were just an excuse, and the real problem was Carti's own dissatisfaction. Either way, the abrupt end to Narcissist left a void. It also set the tone for the chaotic, unpredictable rollout of what would eventually become music. By April 2022, Carti had moved on from Narcissist to a new album concept named Music that was announced in his XXL interview. The title referenced Lil Wayne's I Am Music branding, signaling a shift in direction. The rollout faced major setbacks almost immediately. In December 2022, Carti was involved in a domestic violence incident that forced delays. The album was supposed to drop on January 13th, 2023, but the situation caused another pause. This wasn't the first time personal issues interfere with Carti's releases, but it was one of the most public. The incident also cooled fan excitement, as discussions shifted from the music to Carti's personal life. Instead of capitalizing on the momentum, Carti went silent again, leaving fans guessing about the album's status. Before the incident, there were signs that Music version 1 was close to release. On December 24th, 2022, Carti posted a mirror selfie with a parental advisory sticker, and a day later, this infamous post on Twitter, which fans took as confirmation that new music was coming. The post fit his pattern of cryptic teasers, but unlike previous eras, this one didn't even lead to a single. Social media speculation ran wild, with some believing a surprise drop was imminent. When nothing happened by New Year's, frustration grew. The cycle of hype and disappointment was becoming predictable, making it hard for fans to stay invested. DJ Swamp Izzo again added fuel to the fire in February 2023, when he announced he had a finished album with Carti.
Swamp Izzo, Playboy Carti album is done. Oh!
I'm gonna get that to work premiere. Swamp.
This suggested the project was complete and possibly ready for release. Swamp Izzo's involvement implied an expansion of Carti's sound. Swamp was known for his influence in the Atlanta trap scene since the mixtape era. Fans wondered if this meant a return to Carti's earlier influences or just another abandoned idea. Either way, the album never materialized, and Swamp Izzo's announcement became another footnote in the confusing timeline of Music Version 1. If you don't know who this man is, check out our previous video dedicated to his story. This version included tracks like Killers, All Red, and Minaj, which showed a more polished sound compared to the chaotic Narcissist era. Song Off the Meter from Ken Carson's More Chaos was also created in 2022, featuring Carti's deep-pitched down voice we can already know from All Red. The production was smoother, with Carti refining his deep voice experiments into something more defined. Fans noticed these tracks had better mixing and structure, suggesting Carti was aiming for a more commercial appeal while keeping his signature style. Early 2023 marked Carti's sharp turn toward dark industrial sounds and death metal imagery. Noticeable tracks from this time frame like Problem Child, Pop Out, Doctor, Rockstar, and Meet Your Maker surfaced online through snippets and live performances, showcasing a harsher approach than anything in previous eras. These songs feature production mainly from Filthy, making him go-to producer for Carti. Sex is Death's creative direction played a key role in shaping the new aesthetic and mysterious persona that Carti maintained through mid-2024. Fans debated whether this was Carti pushing boundaries or abandoning his trademark style altogether. The shift was so drastic that some speculated it was just another temporary phase rather than a definitive new direction. The Antagonist Tour announcement in March 2023 fueled excitement for this phase. Carti planned to bring Opium members Destroy Lonely, King Carson, and Homicide Gang on the road, suggesting the sound would define their collective movement. Tickets sold quickly despite the lack of an album release. However, the tour faced multiple postponements before being canceled entirely. The cancellation reinforced Carti's pattern of building hype without following through. Studio sessions during this period reflected the chaotic energy of the music. Carti recorded in extreme locations, including a cave in Paris, where he stayed for 3 months working on tracks. In an interview with Numero Berlin, he described the environment shaping the sound. "I was in a cave in Paris, locked in for 3 months. The music from there is crazy." Other sessions took place in a glass house in the Hills and Atlanta studios, producing what collaborators called biting material. The constant location changes matched the unstable nature of the project, which never settled into a finished form. The abrupt shift from Music Version 1 to this heavier sound showed Carti's willingness to explore new sonic directions. While the industrial phase produced some of his most aggressive material, it lacked the refinement needed for a full album rollout. Tracks felt more like experiments than finished products, which may explain why most never received official releases. By December 2023, Playboi Carti had finally settled on the I Am Music title, an aesthetic after years of changes. The rollout was messy from the start, with singles like Different Day, 2024, Back Rooms, Evil Jordan, and Ketamine dropping without warning. These tracks showed Carti blending his signature baby voice with a new deep voice on dark, atmospheric beats, produced mainly by Cardo and Agivolta. The reception of these songs was very positive, and created a huge hype for I Am Music among fans. But, again, the album was delayed multiple times, first to make room for Kanye West Vulture's trilogy, on which Carti appeared. Then the album was meant to be released on Carti's birthday, the 13th of September, but it got pushed back again. By the end of 2024, fans began turning away from Carti due to his numerous lies about the album's release date, and the hashtag #IamALiar started trending on social media. In the second half of 2024, Playboi Carti began to move further away from the gothic style and mysterious aura. This was also reflected in the final version of the album, which was significantly less dark than singles previewed in early 2024, and more geared toward the streets and the everyday trap listener. According to Swamp Izzo, on the day music dropped, Carti had as many as 130 finished songs to choose from, but he had to narrow it down to just 30.
We had 130 songs. We had to turn in 25. 5 more had to be on it.
Huh. So you guys just trimmed it down?
Had to.
The final 30-track album arrived on March 14, 2025, including some tracks from the Narcissist and Music eras, like Jumping and Pop Out, but left out many fan favorites that had leaked over the years. The deluxe version, Sorry for the Wait, added previously leaked songs like F on My DJ, which only made fans question why these tracks weren't on the main album. The features were a strong point, with The Weeknd, Travis Scott, Future, Lil Uzi Vert, and an unexpected Kendrick Lamar appearance on 3 songs. The interesting part was the last-minute removal of songs featuring Kanye West vocals, likely due to his wild tweets, leaving him credited only as a producer on the album, and we all know how Ye reacted. Reception of the album was mixed. Some praised the album's rage, from aggressive tracks to melodic moments, while others criticized its lack of focus. The inclusion of older material made it feel more like a compilation than a cohesive project. Fans who expected the industrial sound from the Antagonist era were disappointed, as those experiments were mostly absent. The album's length also worked against it, with filler tracks diluting the stronger moments. Carti's decision to blend different eras resulted in an uneven listening experience that didn't fully satisfy any one group of fans. The marketing leading up to release was inconsistent. Billboards with cryptic messages appeared in various cities, and Carti debuted new tracks at Rolling Loud Miami in December 2024. These moves generated hype, but didn't clarify when the album would actually drop. The 3-hour delay on release day, caused by the last-minute Thug feature, summed up the chaotic rollout. Even after years of development, I Am Music still felt rushed in its final moments. The journey of I Am Music spanned over 1,500 days from Carti's previous album, making it one of hip-hop's most drawn-out rollouts. What began as Narcissist in 2021 evolved through multiple scrapped versions before arriving in final form. This process highlighted Carti's tendency to constantly change directions, never fully committing to one sound. The album's delays stemmed from sample issues, personal problems, and even Kanye West projects interfering. While the final version contained strong moments, it felt compromised, compared to leaked snippets from earlier eras. The chaotic development ultimately resulted in an album that pleased some fans but left many wondering what could have been. Also, if you like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss the latest Carti updates, leaks, and theories. Until next time, peace!